Hey guys, and welcome to your daily mobility flow. Got my superhero cup out today. Sometimes you just need those superhero vibes. Maybe you don't, but sometimes I need those superhero vibes. Let's start with your ankles today. I've been rocking boots all weekend, so boots are not really pro. Anyways, let's get to this. One foot down, my other knee is down, just relaxing. You could have it up if you want. And we're just gonna add some pressure down on those to the top of the knee. We're just gonna work back and forth like this. Boots are not very useful when it comes to ankle mobility. They lace up around your ankle and they prevent your ankle from really being able to move a ton. And so, rock boots too much, whether it's because of your profession or because of your sport or because of your yard work, in my case, and you might very well end up with tight ankles. So switch sides. Remember, the goal here is to close this angle and just relax with the rest of my body. My knee is just down. I'm kind of taking a knee in a way, and my heel is slightly off the ground. That's okay. You could have it down if you want, but I'm just really trying to close this gap. I'm working a little bit of my knee at the same time, and then I'm rocking back and forth, shaping this angle kind of in and out in order to just open up the Achilles a little bit. We're not quite stretching the calf yet, but we will get to that point, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go back to the first ankle. Let's hit this again. So I'm adding pressure with the elbow, just kind of leaning in, going back and forth. Hope you guys have been enjoying this weather. It's so beautiful outside. I've had a, 2, 3, maybe cloudy / rainy days in the last 5 weeks. I don't even know. All right, switch. But it has been amazing, and it's been super useful for like mood. Couldn't imagine if we were all stuck inside right now, or just like at home, maybe I should put it that way, away from each other, and the weather was bad for a long period of time. If there are parts of the world that's happening in right now, I am sorry. That stinks. All right, let's come out of that one. Let's get our old fun hip mobility. So we're gonna really widen those knees out. Widen the knees out, elbows down. You could be here if you want to, but I just think it's easier to go elbows down and get a little bit more comfortable. The goal again is to relax. So I'm just gonna drop my elbows and I'm just gonna work kind of forward, let my knees get separated, and then rock back. And that's really gonna force a pretty big hip stretch. Come out of that, make sure the knees are still set wide, and then sit back into it. By working in and out, we can actually get a little deeper stretch than if we were to just hold a position for a long time. Because like this right there, for me, I can't sit there for 30 seconds or 40 seconds even. It was just a little bit too much. Think of it like stretching a balloon. Your muscles are not balloons, but you know those long ones that make balloon animals? You didn't know. You're gonna come to do your mobility flow, and we're gonna talk about balloon animals. They did you. Just keep rocking back and forth. Make sure you're just working those knees out little at a time. But those long balloons that make balloon animals, those balloons, you got to stretch it out a little bit before you blow it up to get it to really expand, and to make it easier to force that air into. But you don't just like pull it and hold it for 10 seconds. You stretch it out, you make sure you get the front side, the middle, the back side, and you open it up, and then you blow into it and it goes easier. And that is how we want to do something like this. But also, as I like get into this more forward position here, maybe I should show you from the side. I don't know if that'll be weird or not. But as I get into this more forward position, I get a little different hip stretch. I can also kind of widen my knees out a little bit more, and then that gives me a little different stretch as I sit back in. And we're just trying to work those knees a little bit wider at a time. This, to me, sometimes feels like too much energy for something that's this much of a stretch, which is why I like to be here. The bigger the stretch, the less kind of active I want my upper body to be, because it's just too much to do. Like, I'm trying to fight it with my upper body, and I'm also trying to relax into the stretch at the same time. And that, and well, for my case, I'm trying to talk at the same time, which is not very easy, especially for a more introverted type of person. But when I'm trying to be here, I just got so much going on, and it's almost fatiguing just to stretch. Like the amount of energy it takes to really, yep, right there, find that stretch as I sit back. It's just easier to relax. It's kind of like, okay, let's rest out of that. Take your time, bring those knees back together. It's kind of like getting a massage versus, like, you know, rubbing your own shoulder. Rubbing your own shoulder just never does the same thing, because you can't relax to the same degree that you can when you're actually getting someone else to work on you. It's just different. When you can go in and just be there and someone else can work on your shoulders. It's the same as in some of these stretches when you can just actually fully relax. All right, let's stand up. We're gonna work the feet out. We're gonna start with them in, and I'm just gonna hinge over. I'm not gonna stand up all the way, because then I'll be out of the frame. I'm that tall, seriously, 7'10". So when I stand up, my head goes out of the frame. Okay, we're gonna lean over, and we're just gonna kind of work into this. I want a little tiny bend in the knee. They don't lock it out. I want to chase the meat of the hamstring a little bit more than behind the knee where that attachment is. And so by keeping the knee a little bit bent, we'll take some pressure off here, and we'll get it up into the hamstring and potentially even into the lower back. So I don't want your knees bent like this. That's not going to do anything, but I don't want them locked out either right now. Okay, like this, I got a little vertical shin, and I'm going to hinge over. So this is kind of the angle of the lower body that we want. And then you can always add the stretch in once my chest is collapsed by pushing those knees back a little bit more. Okay, so I can kind of relax by bending the knee and then drive it back. And we can kind of work that position. Now we're gonna do that, and we're gonna work our feet wider as we go. So here, we're gonna get this. You've probably already been doing this for a minute, so let's widen. Just all I want you to do is just pivot, pivot. And then we're gonna hit the same thing here. Okay, you can work side to side, add the knees in, keep the shoulders down. Where we're gonna go, same thing right here. We're gonna go pivot, pivot, and then we're gonna work down. And we're gonna work our feet all the way out. So I'm leaning over. I feel like my voice sounds funny when I am bending over and talking at the same time, like very, very nasally. All right, so hinge, pivot, hinge, work those sides, side to side, both legs, pivot, sit back, side to side. Play with the knee position, see if you can find a little different stretch. I'm gonna have to move forward a little bit. Let's pivot. 1, 2. Sit back. Try to keep your feet facing forward and not out to the side for now. All right, let's pivot again. Start sliding here in a second with my socks, but it'll be okay. I already mobilized my hips, so I should be ready for that, right? All right, let's pivot one more time. At this point, I don't even need to pivot. I can just slide. Side, down the middle. All right, let's work it back in now. So I'm gonna hinge, hinge, as we'll call it pivot when we go out, hinge when we come in. I'm just working the opposite. I'm gonna add a little bit of pressure on the ground, get some support. I'm gonna heels in, toes in, lean over, side to side. All right, heel, toe. Keep working each side. Play around with the knee position. Do it one more time. I guess we got one more after this. All right, bring those feet back together. Voila. 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 I don't know, does that mean something or is that just something people say? Voila. It sounds kind of Frenchy. That was not meant to sound offensive. Frenchy. Not like the dog. But it sounds kind of French, but I don't know if it is or if it's just something people say that happens to also sound French. But I don't know. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, last thing we got. Everybody's least favorite move, except for maybe me. We're gonna sit back on those feet. This may be all you get today because again, the extension here, my ankle is almost fully extended, my knee is fully folded, and then I'm gonna start to extend my hips too and add on. If you got really, really tight ankles, this may just be an ankle stretch for you today, and that's okay. We worked the ankle the other way. Now let's work it this way, the opposite direction. You may just be relaxing out of this and sitting back on your ankles. That might be where you're at today. That's okay. If not, then we can kind of work back here a little bit, hands down, or you may work elbows down here. Normally I'm all the way to the ground. This kind of feels a little tight today, so I might not be going that far. Now I'm just gonna kind of work this position. You can kind of squeeze your glutes and add on to it. I get a little quad stretch when I do that. I lift my hips and squeeze my butt. That's what your butt does, is really open your hips and then kind of relax out of that. A couple of those and I might be able to get a little bit further. I'm also gonna like drive one hip forward, stretch one side at a time, and kind of shift my weight and then loosen that up enough to where I can get back a little bit further. But please do not force anything with this stretch. Should you be able to do this? Probably, but maybe not. This might never be a fully good position for you, just depending on your femur length, your lower leg length, your torso length. You might just live here, but you should be able to get to here and especially eventually get to where you're fully sitting down in our base position. Okay, hopefully you were stretching the whole time that I was talking, just like I was stretching the whole time I was talking. If you were not, do it now, as soon as the video's over. Reclining hero, he's calling your name, she's calling your name, I don't know. The hero's calling your name. That is your daily mobility flow. This is my superhero mug. I will see you guys tomorrow.